I think a hard realization for me, and a question I kind of have to ask myself at the end of the day. You're talking about this promo, and this is me and Mr. Heyman going into WrestleMania 39, talking about my dad going to work for ECW, correct? That
And talking when he says that he trained Roman, but he didn't train you.
Right. So one of the things that I don't know if it is a burden or if it is a huge advantage, a huge luxury, or if it's both, a privilege and a curse. It could be both. Is my character upon returning has been me.
Yeah.
And when you're that close to it, I have to kind of remind myself that when we put our work up, when the cameras are on and we're out there, it's no longer really me, right? But it is. And this information is. And I think the thing about that interview that I wanted to do was I wanted the world to know that story. And I wanted to connect to Mr. Heyman in a way that we really could never be untethered. And it's difficult because sometimes, you were so complimentary of it as a promo. I remember people would talk to me about a Hall of Fame speech I did for my dad, and I don't know how to respond because that's easy. That's an easy thing to connect to.
Oh, of course.
Right?
You're saying you becoming emotionally engaged.
That's just easy. And it's something at the end of the day I have to ask myself.
But didn't you had to allow yourself to have an open experience? Meaning you had to allow yourself, now that's part of the craft of becoming worthy of wearing the belt, right? Is being willing to really bleed, but like bleed emotionally too. Because you can't actually, there's a lot of stuff you could craft and fake all day. And that's a moment though, by definition, because it's not like those words were said many times.
You mentioned like emotionally. I remember I went to LA, after high school because I thought I wanted to become an actor. I really just thought I wasn't big enough physically, even though I'm a big boy, to become a pro wrestler. And Howard Fine was my coach out there, and I remember him telling me, he was saying, he's like, if you really want to know the ticket for you as young men and women who want to get into this, he was saying you just have to be emotionally available. You have to be available. And I think one of the lessons I learned upon coming back here was that's going to be very difficult, but I want to be that every night. And if it's almost counterintuitive or if it almost juxtaposes against what they think a babyface should be, it will work because it's real, because it's authentic, and I'm allowing it to become part of this story.
It's so good that it took the extra year because it allowed that to really saturate, even though I'm sure being inside it and even knowing there were handshakes and agreements and this was happening, everyone was sure that someone was, on Cena's run, that someone else was coming back to be part. There could be a lot of plans that change, and it could have changed.
Oh yeah, I am. I mean, as this room knows, I am the king of plans change.
Right, and so, but you had to sort of hold the faith, and that meant that the audience had to hold the faith, and stay with it, even though people were sure. And that's why when Taker comes into the ring, it's such a big moment because he was in there for all of us, right?
Sure.
He was in there for everybody who loved Dusty.
He was in there,
He was in there for everybody who was rooting for you.
Yeah.
He was in there for everybody who wanted one good thing to happen in the world that day.
Yeah.
And so when he comes in there, it was so amazing because we wanted a hand to come from somewhere and fucking give this kid the shot.
I tried to, after 39, the WrestleMania happened, SoFi, LA. I tell people this a lot, but I tried to look at as many people as I could.
Oh, awesome.
And what I was trying to convey was it's going to be okay. And I think now I'm so happy that I didn't lie to him, right? Because you said hold the faith. Hold the faith is hard.
Yes, it is.
Hold the faith, especially in my case, gets shaken a great bit. And I just thought I just, as the one thing, pro wrestling good guy, pro wrestling babyface, the one thing you can't do is lie to them. You can't lie to them.
Say more about that. What do you mean?
You if I go out knowing, right? Say I'm well aware of a finish 3 months from now.
Yes.
But I have to go out and tell those people I am going to beat this guy without a shadow of a doubt. I guarantee it. And I have to look them in the ise, and even in that moment, if I know otherwise, still believe I'm not lying to them, right? Like
yeah,
it is a perpetual case of holding the faith. It's a perpetual case of, hey, tonight gonna be your night. I'm gonna beat this guy. I'm making eye contact with you, and I got you, buddy. Or if I'm laying there in a pool of my own blood, the same look, and hey, I'm gonna be okay.
Right.
So I owe it to you. It's gonna be okay.
Yeah, you're gonna lead everybody out of this.
Right.
Somehow.
And I think all the greats, from a wrestling psychology standpoint, we're here in the Garden. All the greats had a way of doing that. It's a sales business in a way. It's a story business. It's a sales business. But the one thing that doesn't work is bad salesmen. You won't last long.
Yeah, the best heels do it in the reverse, and the people who are really great at that.
I want to ask, because you mentioned the magazines and you mentioned the bunny ears on the TV.
Yeah.
And it's territory wrestling.
Yes.
More your time, more your speed. Correct.
Well, it was WWW. But I think for me, up until like MTV, the MTV thing kind of killed it for me a little bit.
Oh, okay, yeah. Did it kill it because so many people were now jumping into your world, or was it different?
There was nothing dangerous about wrestling for a while.
Ah, gotcha.
And the whole point was the whole point was the carny aspect. The whole point was that it was something that was forbidden and strange. It was really. Because when something's a subculture and like a micro culture and a subculture, it's really yours if you're a fan.
Yeah.
And you understand the codes and you understand what people are saying. You know, if you're a kid and you are following in the magazines when they would tip, okay, someone's going to come into the territory, and then they would get that first match against, Johnny Rods or something, and they would win. And you would kind of track that. Or if you were a kid and you loved Billy White Wolf and Chief Jay Strongbow, and suddenly they're fighting the Executioners, and you kind of think Killer Kowalski's one of the Executioners, and they're finally going to get their belt back, and they pin him, and then a third Executioner is hiding under the ring, and comes out. You're throwing things at the little black and white television in the basement. You're enraged. But you also love the show that was put on for you, and that you and this small group of people care about so much. Your outrage is so incredibly big. When it got on MTV and on NBC on those, Saturday nights, it just stopped being cool for a minute, and it became everybody's thing. And those people didn't have to they didn't have to put in the time.
Yeah.
They didn't have to learn about who those people were. They didn't have to know who's Ric Flair and who's Nick Bockwinkel, who's Harley Race, what's Terry Funk, who's Dory Funk. Like, they didn't have to learn that stuff. It was given to them. We all had to earn it. You had to stay up late and convince your parents to not watch the TV so you could watch the TV. You had to do a lot to be a wrestling fan.
Yeah.
And then it was just easy. But then, as wrestling does, man, and I had Amy and I had our first kid.
Yeah.
And we started watching wrestling. Wrestling brings you back, as people say. If you're in it, it brings you back, and it brings you back again, and it brings you back again. And and as I say, various things brought me back. Becky brought me back, and your story brought me back again. Again.
You were talking about, you said Chief Jay, right?
Yeah.
So
Joe, right? Was it
Joe Scarpa?
Yeah.
I wish more people knew this, but today, if you and I are wrestling in the ring and you hit me, and I decide, nope, no more, and I start hulking up, right? And I start moving. You hit me again. Nope, not again. And I wish people knew today that was very common amongst territory, 80s, babyface. The idea that, it's not a not sell. It's I'm pretending not to be heard anymore.
Right, it hurts, actually, but I'm not letting you feel it.
But I'm not letting you know that. When, as much as Hogan absolutely took over it all, but when he created it as the Hulk Up, it's now made it so that this thing is a Hulk Up, which is amazing. A credit to him for creating it. But I wish people knew That used to be every top babyface at a certain point, whether it was Chief
J
J with the
when
war
he,
dance,
of course, the war dance,
or my old man when it's nope, we're done. Whatever, that was your way, and it's different. Like Japanese wrestling, a lot of people talk about how there's not selling, and they don't realize no, they're selling that they're not hurt. That's what they're selling. I'm good, and then you find out they're not. It's like when you go to the bar and you get drunk. You're not acting more drunk.
Right.
You're trying to act sober. That's that style, and so much of it got taken away because there was one place for it. MTV, like you said, rock and wrestling, then WrestleMania, which we're right here now, and everything it would become. I wish more people knew that. I'll ask you this, because you're this area. What territory? I mean, you're closest to WWW, which is a formerly Capital Wrestling.
Oh yeah,
DC. New York, but was there a territory you wish you were close to, or you didn't get when you saw these magazines?
I mean, to see your dad and Ric Flair. I mean, that's what.
Yeah.
And Ernie Ladd, we'd see Ernie Ladd a lot, but then he would leave. He was my favorite.
Big Cat.
The Big Cat was.
Yeah.
Like, that's a guy I think not enough people really know about how great he was, because the footage isn't that great.
Yeah.
But I think he and your dad on the stick kind of influenced each other in a certain way.
Yeah.
Culturally, they had a similar approach.
Thunderbolt Patterson too.
Oh yeah, I don't know his
very similar. And again, there's not enough footage.
Right.
There's not the magic you're talking about. Ray Stevens in San Francisco.
Oh sure. Yes.
It's hard to find.
It's really hard to find the footage. And like at the time, Ernie Ladd being 6'9", an ex-football player, and the thing on his thumb, the foreign object, he was genuinely. You were scared of him, right? You were genuinely believed that guy could do anything.
Right.
In a way that later, that wasn't the case. But what's so cool about wrestling in this era is that everybody plays with it. And I think you got to credit Punk with it some, like what he did that, when
we're a Punk-friendly show.
When he really brought that thing into the world, though, and it allowed all the eras to kind of collapse back. It became the freak show again. I think that's the thing. It's the one thing that I think is hard to put back in is the 10-1, the freak show element. Sure. That was really a part of it up until rock and wrestling.